Caitlin Jones with us at The Ringer. Check out his content, including The Green Dot. Take Tom Brady out of the equation, the story that you've been most fascinated with here in the offseason.
Ooh, that is a good question. I think maybe Russell Wilson and what he ends up doing with the Denver Broncos, because I figured personally, like, if my goal is to win a Super Bowl, I figured you look at the state of the NFC, and if I'm Russell Wilson, I probably would have hung around within the conference just to figure out, because I think the pathway to winning another title might be easier through that conference than it would be, playing in the AFC West, going up against a Chargers team that looks like it's coming into itself. It looked like it should be one of the better teams in the league next year. And you already have the Kansas City Chiefs, who have been, perennial Super Bowl contenders. We'll see whether or not they can continue to sustain that without Tyreek Hill. And then the Las Vegas Raiders have upgraded tremendously, obviously adding Devontae Adams and Chandler Jones to their roster. And so that's a team that's coming off a playoff appearance. So I think it's really fascinating that Russell Wilson chose to go to Denver. I think that it significantly upgrades what they can do offensively. I'm very curious to see what Nathaniel Hackett, first-year head coach from Green Bay, how he ends up scheming the offense around Russell Wilson's strengths, because it felt like last year with Seattle, I thought the Shane Waldron hire, offense coordinator for Seattle, was a good fit, but it just didn't seem to consistently work for Seattle. So whether or not Russell can get it done in Denver, an area that should, play into his ability to throw the ball significantly deep, I think that, there's potential for the Broncos to be, a Super Bowl contender. That potential is obviously there.
Before I get you out of here, the draft at the end of the month, how do you see the first few players shaking out? You do your research, you talk to people. Is there a player that's really intriguing to you, maybe not gotten that much buzz as of yet, just overall in the draft from your view?
Ooh, that's a good question. Someone that hasn't gotten a lot of buzz that could go early. I would say it's Trayvon Walker from Georgia, but he's been getting significant buzz based on how well he did at the Combine. He shot up draft boards despite not having any real production at Georgia. And granted, that's probably because he was a part of, honestly, one of the greatest college football defenses in history. So I think that's definitely playing a role in that. Someone who Cardinals fans could probably, be intrigued by, I think, like George Karlaftis from Purdue hasn't gotten that much buzz. Obviously, the talk is Aiden Hutchinson, Kayvon Thibodeau, and again, Trayvon Walker, who skyrocketed. But Karlaftis, if he lasts, later into, the first round, then I think he's someone that Cardinal fans could really, really, like to add to their defense. I think that when you look at Arizona's success last season, a lot of it was predicated on what Vance Joseph's defense was able to do, and then Kyler Murray in the offense, being a foil and playing really strong on the back of that. But they need a replacement for Chandler Jones. They need to find a replacement for Marcus Golden. Those are guys who I think they both had over 10 sacks for the Cardinals last year, and they don't have replacements immediately on the roster at that defensive end spot. So I think Karlaftis is a name to watch if I'm an Arizona Cardinals fan going into the draft.
I'll let you go off that. Good stuff as always. Keep up the good work. Thanks.
No problem, Brad.